Welcome to NITTE, a place where learning goes way beyond the classroom. For some, it's home. For some, it's a step towards transformation. For some, it's the beginning of a wonderful journey with like-minded people.
Thanks to the teaching and mentoring activities and Dynamic Incubation Center, I am now industry ready.
Engineering at NITTE includes aeronautical, civil, computer science, electrical and electronics, electronics and communication, information science, mechanical, biotechnology, MTech, MCA and PhD. NITTE also collaborates with reputed universities around the world to give students an international academic exposure.
At NITTE, the focus on research has not only helped me understand my subjects, but reach for the stars.
NITTE offers a unique co-op program, an exposure to architects, artisans and urban designers.
I aspire to be the heart of progress.
CHEMA is listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools.
I learned the art of helping people smile.
A.B. Shetty Dental College is listed as one of the top dental colleges in the country. Justice K.S. Hegde Charitable Hospital, part of the NITTE Group, has 1,000 beds, advanced labs and diagnostic centers, which attract a good number of patients from across South India. Along with teaching and clinical practices, we offer programs in pharmacy, nursing, physiotherapy, speech and hearing, biomedical sciences, and paramedical programs like respiratory therapy technology, operation theatre technology, medical imaging technology, and medical laboratory technology.
I've always been curious about the chemistry of cures. I help in healing. From toddlers to seniors, I care for them all.
I believe I can help improve the quality of other people's lives.
We are blessed with the ability to speak and hear from birth. Not everyone is as lucky. I want to do my bit to help the less fortunate. I am proud to be able to assist a surgeon in the operation theatre.
From simple X-rays to sophisticated MRI and PET scans,
my course trains me to assist radiologists and physicians. The training I have received in testing blood, tissues and body fluids assures me a job at any clinical laboratory. I help people enjoy every breath.
I believe in the power of research to change the world.
Nuxur is a one-of-its-kind teaching and research center that addresses society's health needs through painstaking research in biomedical sciences, food safety, microbiology, and biotechnology.
What I learn here and at my internship in the University of Minnesota, USA, I will carry with me and teach my community to live healthy and stay happy. We believe in being our own bosses.
The Bloomberg Lab helps students stay up to date with the latest trends in global markets. Students also have access to Bloomberg Analytics and can, in the course of their learning, develop their own analytics.
I cook my own recipe for success.
Sarosh Institute of Hotel Administration molds each student to become perfect hospitality professionals. A healthy blend of polish and panache.
Good morning. Now, shall I start?
Can we start?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm starting.
Yeah.
Good morning to one and all present virtual platform.
Shashi? Shashi?
Ma'am, I'll start it.
No, Shashi, just a minute. Somebody is stopped.
In a virtual platform. Yeah, myself, Shashi Kumar Shetty, NSS Program Officer for KSA Medical Academy and host for the today's program. NITTE NSS unit in association with the NITTE Center for Integrated Medicine and Research is together observing International Yoga Day on 21st June to highlight the importance of yoga and the role of play in rejuvenating your mind and the body into leading to healthier lifestyle. In Modi's during his speech in United Nations or General Assembly, he proposed the idea of practicing Yoga Day on 27th September 2014, and later the first International Yoga Day was celebrated on June 21st, 2015. Since Yoga Day for this year will be celebrated amid of pandemic, it is advised for you, whoever watching through the virtual platform, celebrate yoga in indoor and practice in virtual event. With this note, I welcome Professor Dr. Sumalata Shetty, NSS Coordinator of NITTE Deemed to be University, for the welcome note. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Shashi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You can.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. 2021 Yoga for Well-being is the agenda for this International Day of Yoga. From NITE NSS and from the NITE University Center for Integrated Medicine and Research, we welcome all the members, all the delegates who have joined into this program. We have with us our Honorable Vice Chancellor of NITE University, Professor Satish Kumar Bandari, sir. Welcome, sir, to this webinar. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being part of our celebrations and all our programs so far. We have guest speaker for the day, Yoga Guru Sri Praveen Kumar, who is an alumni of our own institution, NITE Engineering College, and it gives us immense pleasure to invite you to this program, Sri Praveen Kumar sir. And he has, from the field of mechanism of automobiles, travels into mechanism of the body, mind and spiritual well-being, and he's been a well-known Isha Yoga instructor of Mangalore and has more than 150 students at present in Mangalore. We are very grateful for your graciousness in accepting our invitation at the last moment and being joining us in spite of your busy schedule. Thank you, sir. And we have with us Arun Tejas. Dr. Arun Tejas is one of our new entrant to the NITE University. He is the assistant professor and in charge of NITE University Center for Integrated Medicine and Research, NUCIMR. He has been with us and he has been training on yoga from the last few days online. We welcome you, sir, and I'm very glad that both of you have agreed to be the speaker and give some information to all of us. All the members who have joined for today's webinar to mark the International Yoga Day, the NSS program officers and the NSS volunteers of NITE University, welcome to you all. Today we have with us Mr. Sashi Kumar Shetty, Program Officer of KSAG Medical Academy as the MC, and we welcome you also, Shashi Kumar, and we wish this program a great success. All of you, please remember the International Yoga Day was mandated by the United Nations to highlight the importance of the practice where physical, mental and spiritual at the same time in helping people lead a healthier lifestyle. It was first proposed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the United Nations General Assembly in 2014, and now 21st June marks the summer solstice, longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's picked as an auspicious day to celebrate International Yoga Day. With this short introduction to this program, I request Dr. Shashi Kumar to take over as the MC. Thank you, Shashi. Over to you, Shashi.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. With this, I request our Professor Satish Kumar Bandari sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to give an opening remark for today's program. Thank you, sir.
Very good morning. My esteemed colleague, Professor Dr. Alka Kulkarni, the Registrar of the University, and Sumalata, the NSS Coordinator, and Shashi, the Program Officer, and other Program Officers of NSS Unit of NITE University, and the guest speakers, Mr. Praveen Kumar, the yoga teacher, and I understand is alumni of NMIT NITE. Dr. Arun Tejas, again, is the assistant professor in our the recently started Center for Integrative Medicine and Research, a unique facility in the university. Is one of its kind in the country. It's the third center in the country to have an integrative medicine department to address the issues of lifestyle diseases. I welcome all of you for this very unique program organized by the NSS unit in collaboration with the Integrative Medicine Department. As you all know, yoga is an invaluable gift to our mankind. It embodies unity of mind and body, as Sumalata said, and is also the unity of thought and action, restraint and fulfillment, harmony between the man and the nature, and a holistic. Actually, it's a holistic approach for the health and well-being of the individual. Many think that it is a physical exercise. It's not a physical exercise, but it's to discover the sense of oneness with yourself and world and the nature. This is what our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji said. By changing our lifestyle and creating consciousness, it can help in well-being. Let us work towards adopting an International Yoga Day. The whole credit should go to our Prime Minister, PM Narendra Modi, for popularizing yoga all over the world globally. Since 2015, International Yoga Day is celebrated every year, as Sumalata said, on this very particularly on this auspicious day, June 21st, because it's the longest day in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's very auspicious according to our tradition of the country. And I'm very glad that we are celebrating this particular day with International Yoga Day. As you all know, the Yoga Sutras were propagated or started by sage, very ancient Indian sage, very revered sage Patanjali, and he's called the father of modern yoga. The word yoga is originated from the Sanskrit. I understand the word yuja, which means to join or to unite. Actually, the union of the body and the mind. Yoga practice has been dated to pre-Vedic Indian traditions, and it is known to help not only physical diseases, also to cure mental and psychological and emotional diseases also. And the approach is holistic health, physical, mental, and spiritual health. And always the health definition itself says it is not only the physical health. What is required, not only physical, you should have mental and spiritual health. And this is a nectar, you can call it as Amrut for the holistic health of the human being. And it is very, very important, particularly in this very unprecedented times we are going through, the pandemic caused by COVID-19, which is affecting not only the physical health of the individuals, and also affecting the mental and psychological health. As you all know, even the number of suicides and mental illness, depression is in the rapid rise. I think yoga can be one of the very important intervention, particularly in the patients who have recovered from COVID affection. Another aspect of before COVID, we have observed that lifestyle diseases are increasing. Almost 60% of the diseases are caused by lifestyle. Prevention is better than cure, and we can prevent this type of lifestyle disease by adopting physical and mental the exercises which can help you to get involved in physical and mental well-being. I think yoga has got all that combination of, as I said earlier, it is addressing the physical, mental, and spiritual health, and definitely it is going to help in preventing lifestyle diseases, what we call non-communicable diseases. As you all know, the number of diabetic patients is increasing in the country, and India is got a distinction of being known as the capital of diabetes. It is almost 30% of the people are suffering diabetes, and diabetes associated with diabetes, now you might have seen, even in COVID pandemic, fungal infections like mucormycosis affecting the sinuses. All these are interconnected. If you can prevent diabetes, or you can mitigate, or you can reduce the effect of diabetes, you can treat associated conditions also. So yoga has got a lot of advantages. The theme of this year is yoga for well-being. The theme is very relevant, as I said, during this pandemic caused by COVID-19. As somebody, the MC said, it is known to not only improve the physical and mental health, also to improve the immunity, because immunological improvement in the body is also very important to prevent disease. As you all know, even COVID is affecting the people who are immunological susceptible, and yoga can help you in improving your immunity also. And I understand it's one of the topics which will be addressed by Mr. Praveen Kumar. Is on in one of the keynote address, and it has also got a very important role in preventing depression. As I said earlier, it also prevents anxiety and stress. As you all know, stress is a very important factor and is known to cause so many diseases, non-communicable diseases. And practicing yoga, you can prevent stressful conditions also, so that you can improve your longevity. And that's also one of the topic for today's discussion, and it is going to be spoken by Dr. Arun Tejas, who will be speaking on effect of yoga, how to train your mitochondria to breathe slow, longevity through yoga. That's very interesting. I think it will be a very interesting topic, and both these topics are very interesting. All the participants will be definitely benefited by this webinar organized by our departments like NSS and our integrative medicine department. I hope all of you will carry very pleasant memories and knowledgeable session you will be having after this International Yoga Day celebration through this webinar. I hope all of you very safe, healthy stay, and follow all the COVID guidelines. As Shashi said, most of you are practicing yoga at home, and unfortunately, we usually every year we celebrate Yoga Day by inviting people to the campus, and usually we conduct yoga practice here. Unfortunately, due to this unprecedented situation, we could not organize physically. I hope all of you will be practicing yoga at home, and you can. What is important is whatever has been discussed today should be practiced. I'm very happy to tell you that integrative medicine, through our teacher Arun Tejas, has started yoga online classes, and it is the third week, I understand. It's going on very well, and I understand more than 75 people have registered for this online yoga, particularly the people who have been affected by COVID and post-COVID rehabilitation through yoga is being conducted by the university. I thank Arun Tejas for conducting this regularly. I hope the people who have been rejuvenating after the COVID are getting benefit out of this online yoga training conducted by the university. Wish you all the best. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable words and enrich our program. So with this, we'll move forward for the today's another resource person. We have with us Dr. Arun Tejas. He is assistant professor and in charge in the NITE Center of Integrated Medicine and Research. So he's going to talk about how to train your mitochondria to breathe slow, longevity through yoga. Dr. Arun Tejas, sir.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for entire team for coordinating this well. And thank you, Praveen Kumar, sir, for your experience sharing and presentation. Shall I share the screen, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Can you see, sir?
Yes, sir. Can you make it full slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
So today's
fine.
topic is how to train your mitochondria to breathe slow in search of the fountain of youth through ancient yogic techniques. So I would like to bring your attention to the slide for correlating breathing rate and lifespans of different mammals. Here mouse, as you see, breathing rate per minute is high and the lifespan is less just 3 years. We Homo sapiens breathe almost 15 times in a minute, and our lifespan is 80 years. If you see turtles, they breathe 4 times per minute and live up to 250 years. So there is a correlation between breathing rate and lifespan. And to support that evidence, you can see this naked mole rat. Naked mole rats are found in African deserts, and they live in tunnels, like they make tunnels of 2 to 3 miles. And the speciality of this naked mole rat is their lifespan is almost 10 to 15 fold higher than normal rats or mice. So their lifespan is 30 to 40, even 45 years they live. So scientists were interested to understand what is the longevity of these rats living 10 times to 15 times more than the normal rats. They conducted different studies and understood the following facts, like they are staying in tunnel and colonied like honeybees. They live in colonies, and because they live in tunnels, the oxygen level or oxygen scarcity is there. So they have an undeveloped lungs, and their respiratory rate is extremely low, and also metabolic rate is very low. And as you see the picture here, they also have the food scarcity, which is why they travel or they make the tunnel almost 2 to 3 miles. So food scarcity, oxygen scarcity is present, and also they are the one animal plus shark are cancer resistant. So they have extremely long lifespan, and the fact they found is low metabolic rate, low respiratory rate, and food scarcity, eating not high calorie diets, just eating to survive. So looking at these facts, I would bring a few questions to you, and by answering these questions, we'll understand the correlation between lifespan and breathing rate. So the question number 1, reducing breathing rate and calorie are linked to lifespan. And then second question, how we lose stem cells while we aging. So we get age, and how we save stem cells pool for old age. Third question, how free radical reactive oxygen species, I'll call ROS, formed in high metabolic rate and exhaust stem cell pool. And fourth question, how reducing oxygen or breath per minute and calories can reduce ROS. And fifth question, how to increase stem cells pool by reducing oxygen and metabolism. So by answering all these questions, you will get a clarity and correlation between this. To know that, we need to little know about stem cell. I know many are watching in YouTube, and here I'll simplify the stem cells. Stem cells are like mother cells, and we have a fixed amount of stem cells. We don't get more. That's when we born, we get a fixed amount of stem cells. From the stem cells, you can have bone, you can have your neuron, you can have your muscle cells, you can have your blood cells, you can have your liver cells, etc. But the stem cells further divide and become progenitor cells. So the significance of progenitor cells is, progenitor cells can, as you see, progenitor cells can return back to stem cells. But once stem cells divide and progenitor cells comes, and then once it become muscle cells, for an example, they cannot return back to stem cells. Only from the step of progenitor cells it can return back. And we have a kind of fixed deposit when we come. You know, only certain amount of stem cells are available. We have to utilize that preserve the stem cells will make you live longer. As you see this liver cells, for an example, blood cells, if it functionally become dysfunctional and die off, then new blood cells will come by stem cells dividing and then progenitor cells to blood cells. But once you lose all the stem cells, which means you are aging and you are dying. So important note is here, preserving the stem cells will make you live longer. So this cell, this is a picture of a cell where our food, what you eat, well, the destination is inside the mitochondria and produce ATP. So glucose, what we eat as energy, glucose enter inside the cell and in mitochondria and produce ATP. ATPs are energy molecules. ATPs are energy molecule by using oxygen. So we need glucose and we need oxygen to get energy. However, high metabolic and high oxygen, for an example, too much of glucose and too much of oxygen also will produce high amount of ROS, reactive oxygen species, that will induce oxidative stress. So high ROS will deplete your stem cells. So that's what this slide shows. See here, you have stem cells. Once stem cells divide, which means commit and become differentiated cell, your blood cells or your liver cells, etc. By high ROS. By high ROS is because of high glucose or calorie and too much of oxygen will make this stem cells to commit it into differentiated cells or functional cells. So you can correlate it like, this you can correlate like we have in market seedless grape. So by planting that, you don't get new plants of grapes. So you have a certain amount of stem cells and you have to utilize it that very well for another 130 years. That's a normal lifespan of a Homo sapien, and that you have to utilize it in a proper way and produce the plant and get the food in that sense. So it's also, you can consider like you have, when you born, you have a fixed amount of 1 crore rupees for 130 years. So every year how much you have to use, but you can use it in 30 years as well. How it is used in 30 years, if it is in the plant case, you use more of the seeds will germinate if you nurture with water and mud. In the same way, if the stem cells is used lot, then you will not have it. So it's very important to preserve the stem cells. So more oxygen and more calorie will increase the ROS. Conclusion of that first part is high calorie rich food plus high oxygen will increase the high reactive oxygen species. That will lead to stem cells exit from dormancy and start dividing to become functional cells. So this will give a reduction in stem cell stock. So you have a fixed amount, you have to utilize it in an effective way. So now imagine this is a stem cells of pancreas, and as our VC sir mentioned, our country is almost 30%. It's 30% will bring almost above 30 crore people, 30 to 35 or 40 crores people are diabetic. So imagine the stem cells are pancreas stem cells, and that divided into progenitor cells, which can become differentiated cells of producing insulin. Because of overuse or high calorie diet and unhealthy lifestyle, these differentiated cells can become dysfunctional, not producing insulin, and then thereby the organ in pancreas can become non-functional. Once this low glutamine, which is an amino acid, and there is low oxygen, these committed progenitor cells can return back. In the previous slides I said these progenitor cells can return back to stem cells. Only the differentiated cells will not be able to become stem cells. Only progenitor cells will be able to return back to stem cells. And once if you there is a study, if you treat it with kind of fasting mimicking diet and you nurture the cells in a healthy committed progenitor cells, it can become functional and it can even produce insulin, and the pancreas can return back to normalcy by producing insulin. So this I will symbolically represent it at the present condition. For an example, mother at home are like stem cells. Okay, and 18 to 40 years we have professionally committed college students and working class, and we have above 50 years specialized group. They are committed and they are like functional cells. Like if they have any disease and if this group become dysfunctional by any crisis, if you look like if you compare it like a country, if the country has a war or some times like that, these people cannot become stem cells and become new and do. But these 18 to 40 years group, when there is for an example, here we have lockdown, so no job and no food, they will return back. Progenitor cells return back to home, to mother cells, which is stem cells, and produce, nurture in a proper healthy food and healthy society and things like that. These stem cells, this progenitor cells become stems or return back to stem cells, and this can become or replace this skilled population like 50 to 80 years. So the dysfunctional pancreatic cells can be replaced by newer progenitor cells and become producing the insulin. So like when tested in organoids, the organ parts, when it is cultured in low oxygen, which is 2% oxygen, the organoids are cultured in 2% of oxygen, there is an increase in stem cells pool. Yeah, there is an increase in stem cell pool. But when this organoids cultured in 20% of oxygen, there is decrease in stem cells pool, which means reducing the oxygen 2% increases the stem cells pool or increase the numbers of progenitor cells returning to stem cells, thereby stem cells pool. In another way, increasing the oxygen 20%, the number of progenitor cells returning back to stem cells reduces, thereby less stem cells pool. So this has been tested when 2% of oxygen, when this CD34 is a marker for understanding stem cell. So this, when it is treated, the organoids is treated with 2% of oxygen, there is more progenitor cells returning back to stem cells, which is why you see more of red in color stem cells under low oxygen. Thereby the stem cells pool is increasing. But if you look into the 20% of oxygen organoid cultured, you have CD34 is less, which means less progenitor cells are returning back to stem cells under high oxygen concentration. So in the mice study, pancreatic cell secretions, pancreatic cell sections see, in normal insulin, this is a normal rat, where in normal rat, the insulin secretion plot is seen. In the third one, the diabetic mice has less pancreatin producing cells, but once this fasting mimicking diet is done, the returning back of the insulin producing cells are more, which is also demonstrated in the graph. After fasting mimicking diet, the blood sugar level comes back to normal. So this study is published in Cell, a reputed journal which has very high impact factor. Fasting mimicking diet promote NGN-driven B cells regeneration to reverse diabetes. And we are also focusing in our department about the metabolic kitchen is doing that work for metabolic diet, like specializing different diets like diabetic diet and other diseases. So the take home message is that progenitor cells, like committed young skilled population, return back to stem cells by reducing metabolism through calorie restriction, not too much of calorie, and low oxygen, 5 breath per minute, might increase the stem cells pool and improve the lifespan of the organ, and thereby overall human lifespan can exceed. So a few of the studies already has done and related with yoga paper, like impact of yoga and meditation on cellular aging in apparently healthy individuals. In here you can see when they have undergone, the participants undergone 12 weeks of yoga and meditation based lifestyle intervention, the reactive oxygen species baseline was 1215 and reduced to 194. So ROS, I hope you remember, if there is more ROS, your stem cells will start depleting and become functional cells. So stem cell stock will reduce if there is high. By this yoga and meditation based lifestyle intervention for 12 weeks, it is shown that the reduction in ROS. Also, other biomarkers for associated with cellular aging like cortisol, interleukin, endorphins, BDNF are also significantly reduced from the baseline. So then there is another study suggesting effect of yoga on oxidative stress in elderly with grade 1 hypertension. The study concludes that the findings suggest that yoga is an effective means to reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress we have seen in the cell picture, where more ROS you have oxidative stress, and to improve antioxidants defense in elderly hypertensive individuals. Which is why maybe this you might have heard, our rishis in Himalaya used to live more than 150 years or 200 years like that. I never believed it previously till I was reading these papers. So this could be the mechanism, like less oxygen. As the height increases, less oxygen at altitude. So less oxygen, less food. Less food doesn't mean that you are not eating. It means you are optimally eating with all the essential nutrients required for your body to function. But you are not excessively eating like high calorie food. That I can talk in another session, what is high calorie food and things. And also these rishis used to manipulate their breathing in various, as we see in the earlier presentation, one type of breathing manipulation. There are different types of manipulation of breathing, and they could extend their lifespan up to 150 years. So there is one saying in yoga or this Sanskrit, Ega Bhojyam Yogi, which means eating once a day makes you a yogi. Which means you have to, as I said, optimally you have to eat. Dibhojyam Bhogi, which means eating twice a day make you a pleasure seeker. But eating 3 times, tribojam rogi, means eating thrice a day make you a sick person. That doesn't mean that we all sick, but eating high calorie and unwanted, junk food and things, of course, will put you a sick person. So as you see, the same naked mole rats had low respiratory rate. That could be the key even with the rishis. They had less food, scarcity of food. Same case as the rishis. So they had less oxygen as well in the tunnel. Same like in Himalaya, there is less oxygen there. So which makes this yogis to live 150 years, and like maybe naked mole rat. So here we are, even in the tradition, back in the days, we had this Puti Pravesha or Kaya Kalpa treatment for anti-aging. They go into a closed house. I just got this picture. Closed house and do certain treatments, dietary restrictions, and can do or healthy aging, slow down the aging process by these ancient techniques. So just by taking 2 valid points of tradition, looking into that scientific aspects, we could draw some line of how they might have used these techniques for even anti-aging or to prevent diseases and to lead a healthy lifestyle. So I conclude my session here. If you have some doubts, you can ask me. Shashi sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yeah. So there is 2 techniques, breathing less and calorie restrictions can improve lifespan. This could be a a hypothesis which has been even published in some reputed journals. Can use this traditional wisdom for our betterment of life. That's what yoga stands for, and this Yoga Day stands for.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. And today we had a wonderful session by both the presenter. All of you know that it is included with the as well as general and research related. Thank you, Dr. Arun Tejas sir, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I request Suchitra BS, is the NSS Program Officer from the Nitte Usha Institute of Nursing Science, for the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to all. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Satish Kumar Bhandari, Registrar Alka Kulkarni, and other dignitaries. I am Mr. Suchitra, NSS Program Officer of Nitte Usha Institute of Nursing Science, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks in this International Day of Yoga 2021. It's my pleasure to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Satish Kumar Bhandari, who is always proactive and render his support to all activities carried out throughout NSS. Thank you, sir, for always motivating and encouraging us. My gratitude to Dr. Alka Kulkarni, Registrar, Nitte deemed to be University. Thank you, ma'am, for all your support and guidance. My sincere gratitude to today's guest speaker, Mr. Praveen Kumar, P, Yoga teacher, Classical Hatha Yoga, alumni of NMAM Institute of Technology Nitte, for delivering excellent information on Isha Yoga immunity boosting practices. Thank you, sir, for informative session. I also thank another guest speaker, Dr. Arun Tejas, Assistant Professor and in charge, Nitte Center for Integrative Medicine and Research. Thank you, sir, for informative session on how to train your mitochondria to breathe slow longevity through yoga. The concept was more clear with your simple presentation and with diagrammatic representation. Thank you, sir. My heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Sumalata R. Shetty, NSS Program Coordinator, NITTE deemed to be University, for organizing this International Yoga Day 2021. Thank you, ma'am. My deep sense of appreciation to Mr. Shashi Kumar, NSS Program Officer, and all the program officers of other constituent college of NITTE deemed to be University for your kind support. Thank you all. At last, I thank all NSS volunteers and the participants for your kind participation. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. With this note, we will end today's session. Thank you all for the participation in Google Meet platform as well as in the YouTube platform. Thank you.
Before we end, I would like to place on record my many thanks to the program officer, Shashi Kumar Shetty, who has almost single-handedly arranged this program along with Dr. Arun Tejas. Thank you, Shashi, and keep the good work going. Thank you.